Over the 7 years of competitive Fortnite, there have been some extremely dominant runs, but none of them compare to what Peterbot has accomplished over the last year. While there are tons of players who can make a case for being the greatest Fortnite player of all time, there are 4 people that truly separate themselves from the rest of the pack. I've gone through every single tournament since the beginning of competitive Fortnite to answer the question, who is the real GOAT of Fortnite? Well, to start off, we have Booga. Booga is truly a Fortnite OG, and he has been at the top of the competitive scene since the beginning. When it comes to longevity, nobody has been playing longer than him at such a high level. He started off playing squad scrims in early 2018, where it was already clear that he was good. Obviously, the biggest thing people think about when they hear Booga's name is his World Cup win. His performance during the finals in New York was one of the best ever, and he already won the tournament by Game 3.
Booga can soar up into the sky and go for it! Here it is! Shockwave to hide! Shots coming in! No elimination yet for the first game victory royale! Oh my gosh! Time! Your world champion! Booga!
Just from winning this one tournament, he made $3 million, which is more than any player has to this day. And this was just the beginning of a very decorated career. To make sure this video isn't me just saying placements, I'm mainly focusing on important statistics and facts. Although Booga was undoubtedly the best player in the game at the time, he struggled in the first 2 FNCSs, placing close to dead last in trios and squads. He began placing better with a 5th in duos, 4th in solo FNCS, followed by a 3rd in Stark season, which was his best placement yet. With a 5th, 4th, and 3rd, it was looking like he was due to pick up his first FNCS title. But in Chapter 2 Season 6, the BBC trio of Booga, Bizzle, and Clicks did not qualify for the grand finals. To this day, it is the only FNCS that Booga did not qualify for, and after this, he had to prove to everybody that he was still the GOAT. Chapter 2 Season 8 featured 2 FNCSs, one being a normal FNCS, followed by the Grand Royale, which was also trios. He decided to team up with 2 underrated fraggers, Dukes and Muzz, where they easily won, picking up his first FNCS win.
Oh my god, we won! Let's go!
I swear to God, hold on.
I swear to God, we won. No, I swear to God, Let's fucking go, boys! Let's go!
In a surprising decision, him and Dukes replaced Muzz with Marrow right after winning the biggest tournament of the season. It didn't seem like a good idea, but obviously he knew what he was doing because they went on to win back-to-back FNCSs. This win was just the beginning of an insane run for the duo of Booga and Marrow. With duos being the game mode for the entirety of Chapter 3, they won their 3rd straight FNCS in Season 1. This was followed by a 3rd in Season 2 and a 2nd in Season 3. In under 365 days, they placed 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the 5 FNCS competitions. This is pretty similar to what Peter and Poyo did over the last year, but most people forget just how impressive this was. Obviously, with this resume heading into the first global LAN since the World Cup, they were a favorite to win. And with the best drop spot on the map uncontested, it looked like it was going to happen. But unfortunately, a good LAN performance is still the one thing Booga cannot seem to get, as they finished in 36th. In 2023, he placed top 5 in 2 of the 3 FNCSs, including a 2nd place in Chapter 4 Season 3. This was good enough for him and his duo threats to qualify for the LAN in Copenhagen. Once again, he had a disappointing performance as they finished in 23rd. And in 2024, while his best placement was a 3rd in Season 1, him and Aviv finished 14th at the Global Championship in Fort Worth. For anybody else, this is a decent placement, but not for him. When it comes to overall longevity, nobody compares to Booga. He has truly been at the top of the scene since the beginning, which is the biggest argument for him being the greatest of all time. With 3 FNCS wins, the solo World Cup title, and almost $4 million in earnings, he obviously deserves to be in this conversation. By the way, 99.6% of my viewers are not subscribed, so if you hear this, please sub. The next player who deserves to be in the GOAT debate is Tayson. While Booga already had over $3 million in earnings, Tayson hadn't even started taking Fortnite serious yet. The first season he played was Chapter 2 Season 1 during squads, where he managed to place 7th in his first FNCS ever. It was obvious early on that he was destined for greatness, and solos was the game mode where he would show this. He put on a masterclass in Chapter 2 Season 3's FNCS, winning by a pretty big margin. Obviously, after winning a major tournament, you can choose whatever teammates you want, so he picked Mongrel and Mitro. They played together for Stark season, and I'm pretty sure we all know how this went.
Team.
Let's go! Nice!
Good finish.
Unlucky.
Nice.
Oh my god, let's go!
HP.
Nice. Let's f***ing go!
Bouncer. Dead, one dead.
Let's go! Let's go, boy!
Being this dominant on the best region was practically unheard of, and he continued to do it for years to come. His next FNCS title came in the Solo All-Stars at the beginning of Chapter 2 Season 7. This had the most exciting finish of any Fortnite tournament in history, with the final 1v1 between him and Bhronos deciding who would be $150,000 richer.
You have to be focusing on right now. Tayson is literally in a world of hurt, but at the same time finds two. That could be the difference. It'll have to be Bhronos going for the win right now in order to catch up. He's going for Erkin as well. If he gets 3, that could be it. He's moving forward, forcing the placement. Tayson on all walls, but he sees everything through. Finds it. A big matchup. Tayson takes them all.
If you haven't been keeping track, that's 3 FNCS wins, but he's still got a couple more. The next one was in Grand Royale, where he began a crazy run of his own. After winning this, securing another $200,000 in earnings, he placed 3rd and 2nd in the first 2 FNCSs of 2022. But just like Booga, Tayson never performed up to his standard on LAN. Him and Chapix finished in 32nd place at the FNCS Invitational in Raleigh. While he struggled at in-person events, he continued dominating online tournaments once again. And he has the most online earnings by far, with almost $1.1 million. Somehow, he always ends up winning tournaments that are insanely close. The first major of 2023 ended with him and Malibuca both alive as solos on the same points. Whoever survives longer wins the title. Yep, another major win decided by 1 point, and he was on the good side of it. After a 2nd place in the following season, his career started to go downhill. In the last 6 FNCSs, he has not broken the top 10 and also failed to qualify for this year's Global Championship after moving to NA. If he wanted to, he could have competed at this year's LAN, but originally declined to be an alternate, thinking he wouldn't have a chance to play. After regretting this decision, he posted a picture of an Epic employee which they thought was toxic, resulting in a 2-week ban and guaranteeing that he would not be able to compete in Fort Worth. Although he's had quite a disappointing last year, he won 5 FNCSs on the hardest region, qualified for every grand final since he started playing, and has the most online earnings by far. At one point, he was considered the undisputed GOAT of Fortnite, but is this still true today? The next person is the best controller player of all time, Mero. Unlike his long-term duo Booga, whose career started off with a bang, Mero's come-up was a bit different. He only played Fortnite on console, and mainly just for fun up until Chapter 2 Season 2. After winning a console solo Cash Cup, everybody told him he would not be able to do the same on PC. So he decided to prove them wrong and won his first PC solo Cash Cup ever the following week. From there, it was history. He qualified for his first FNCS in the solo invitational, but finished in 49th, followed by a 61st in solo FNCS next season. It seemed like he was just another controller player who was only good because of aim assist until he teamed up with Reverse 2K and Day. Nobody expected them to win or even compete in Stark season because they were landing at a terrible split drop. Somehow, they managed to win over Zate's trio and Booga's trio, who were uncontested at far better spots. They might have been the biggest underdogs to ever win an FNCS, and 2 seasons later, the trio's confidence was higher than ever. This caused Reverse 2K to make this video where he basically says everyone else sucks and they're gonna win.
But there's a lot of teams that I did not expect to go into Grand. Like Coop and them are in here. I don't even know this Twix. I have no clue. Like them, I don't think they should be in Grands. Ghost and Tragics and Steve. I don't think these guys should be in Grands, but hey, big clutch. But there's just a lot of teams that I didn't expect to be in Grands, but they are. You know, I don't know who this team is. I don't really know who. I know Tabney, but I don't know the other two.
If they didn't end up winning after this, it would have been pretty embarrassing, but this move cemented their legacy in Fortnite history. Chapter 2 Season 8 is when him and Booga teamed up for the first time and started their generational run like I talked about earlier. First, second, and third in the next 5 FNCSs. But after this, he played really bad at the 2022 LAN and the first season of 2023. By now, Mero had accomplished just about everything, and after a couple mediocre performances, he announced his retirement from competitive Fortnite. That only lasted for about a week, and in order to reignite his love for the game, he had 2 people in mind that he enjoyed playing with. Those 2 players were Crisp and Cooper. He could not choose which one to play with, so he flipped a coin to let fate decide. As we all know, Cooper won the coin toss, and as a player with only $8,000 earned, he was queuing up with one of the best players ever. In their first season together, they got second, which 5x Cooper's earnings, and secured their spot for the 2023 Global Championship. Going into it, Mero was the underdog as always, with nobody expecting him to do good, but once again, he proved them wrong.
Cooper looked up to Mero, reached out to Mero, asked him to play
was his duo, and who would have thought it would have been $1 million coin flip? Congratulations, Muir. Congratulations, Cooper. You are our 2023 global champions.
This was the peak of his career, so the only way he could really go is down. And after this victory, he had a pretty rough time, finishing 9th, 19th, and 31st in the 2024 majors. This also meant that he failed to qualify for the LAN in Fort Worth. Even with a much later start to his career, he is tied with Epic Whale for the most overall FNCS wins with 6 and has $1 million in earnings. Without a doubt, Mero is the greatest controller player of all time and maybe the greatest player ever. But of course, everybody on this list has to compete with the recent greatness of Peterbot. Peterbot didn't get a PC until Chapter 2 Season 2, and to be honest, he was pretty bad until a year later. By the time he qualified for his first Grand Finals in Chapter 2 Season 7, Mero already had 2 FNCS wins under his belt. Peter absolutely burst onto the scene by qualifying for the Solo All-Stars tournament and placing 8th when nobody knew who he was. Since he got such a late start, it was tough for him to get good teammates, so he really had to work his way up from the bottom. On top of this, nobody received more cheating accusations than he did.
What? What? Bro. He's on low mesh builds. How do you just... What? Where do you see... Hello, chat. Chat. Yo, guys. Where? Look at this white wall. Where is there a player? Where? What? Yo! Yo!
His best placement ever before Chapter 3 was a 4th in Grand Royale, but other than that, he never broke top 10. That was until Chapter 3 Season 2, when we witnessed one of the best individual Grand Finals performances of all time.
We could not have asked for a better way to finish this thing off.
No, we could not, but we have to give the winners their moment. Peterbot and Byla, officially your FNCS champions.
One of the biggest things, 48 eliminations. We saw Peterbot was at least 35 of those, so another individual performance by him. That's just absurd, like actually absurd.
After winning his first FNCS, he had a pretty long drought with some mediocre placements. This included a 37th at the 2022 LAN, which did not help when it came to people accusing him of cheating. The 2023 Global Championships in Copenhagen weren't much better, as him and Byla finished 26th. It seemed like he was just another hit or miss player that won one FNCS and probably wouldn't win another. But that was about to change. In Chapter 5 Season 1, he teamed up with Pollo. Pollo was a really underrated player because he isn't too flashy, but he really complements Peter's playstyle in duos. This was very apparent in their first major together, where they got 2nd place. When it came to fighting, nobody was on their level, so that gave them a massive advantage when Season 2 came out. The new POI, Grim Gate, had an extremely overpowered dash medallion, and when you give one of the best teams an advantage that nobody else has, it's gonna be ugly for the rest of the lobby. They won all 4 duo cash cups this season, including one where they won 6 out of 6 games, which has never been done before. Out of the 24 finals games played in duo cash cups, they won 16 of them. Then they went on to win the grand finals by 350 points. They had 1,100 points, and second had 750. At the same time, Peter was dropping 35 to 40 kill wins every single week of solo victory cups, and I'm pretty sure he holds almost every individual tournament record. You might be wondering why I'm mentioning cash cups for him, but not for anybody else on this list. And it's because Peter has more cash cup wins than Tayson, Mero, and Bugha combined. The biggest advantage him and Pollo had is nobody wanted to contest them, since everybody that tried got completely embarrassed. This meant they were uncontested in Chapter 5 Season 3, where they had the best drop spot and medallion and won FNCS yet again. At this point, the only thing missing was a good LAN performance to prove to the community that he does not cheat. And his chance came last weekend at the Global Championships in Fort Worth, Texas. Even against the best duos from every region, Peter and Pollo were uncontested at the Raft, which has the scan medallion. This medallion scans the area around you every 50 seconds, meaning they had wall hacks every single game. To finish off day 1 of the tournament, they won back-to-back games, giving them a 150 point lead going into day 2. It was already looking like a guaranteed win until they died early on in games 7 and 8. At the same time, Queasy and Thomas took over first place. Unfortunately for Queasy and Thomas, Peter is just too good.
Situation up on height. It's Dukes though with Peterbot looking to fight back. Do not count him out. It is all solos remaining here. Teacher goes down. The next one is down too. Batman Bugha sent back to the lobby. 3 players now here. Peterbot looking at 1v1v1 and another one. Down goes Bars. Can he find the final fight here? Dukes is excellent in these type of scenarios, but Peterbot is just a little better. Up top, the high ground hit is good, and he needs to go. And he does it again.
But somehow, that wasn't even the best solo clutch from him on that day. 2 games later, he pulled off what is, in my opinion, the greatest clutch ever.
All solos in between. One of those solos is, of course, Peterbot. Rapid is going to fall as well, and he just does not stop claiming eliminations at this point. Booga on the backside of zone. Don't come out, son. It's not going to go well if you step into Peter's domain. Meanwhile, Thomas HD, Queasy are setting up the victory royale.
Thomas HD, Queasy, they know. It's Peterbot and Booga.
Oh my God.
Deal with, but Peterbot gets a huge chunk out of Queasy. Thomas is going to fall. One more shot could do it. Peterbot with the refresh, continuing to break through on the long ground. He's making the impossible happen.
Queasy versus Booga up top. Takes him down. Queasy versus Peterbot now. How badly do you want it? Queasy is looking for the tag. Both shots can easily go any way. Peter finds the first one. Can he get the second? He is incredible.
The second time today, Peterbot knew it was exclusively down day.
If he didn't do this, the last game would have been much different. Queasy and Thomas could have landed on them, but the solo clutch gave them a safe enough lead for it to not happen. Of course, the final standings weren't even close as they finished the tournament off with a win, solidifying themselves as the best duo in the game.
Congratulations.
Everything was for this moment.
Would you please give it everything you've got for the FNCS Global Champions 2024 Peterbot and Bhronos!
By the way, there is only one player with better FNCS placements than Peter over the last 2 years. And that player is his own duo, Poyo. I think Poyo definitely needs more respect, but when it comes down to pure talent, nobody's better than his duo. Personally, I think that Booga has the best overall placements, and the fact he's been so good for so long helps him in this conversation. But at the same time, we have never seen somebody as individually talented as Peterbot, and if he's not the GOAT yet, he 100% will be in the future. Let me know who you think is the true Fortnite GOAT in the comments, subscribe so I can hit 100k, and check out the video on screen right now if you enjoy content like this.